guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you guys the vocabulary that I've learned before on the famous speech of Shakira, and the title of that is Power of Education. I know that on this video there are a lot of mistakes that I've made, but I hope you guys can identify with me because it's just a video for practice English. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, in this knowledge-based society, education has a crucial role in our life. Therefore, we need to pay more attention into our children, especially in the first 5 years, and it will create a new theory. It is ECD. ECD means early childhood development, where children should be nurtured and nourished and protected from the factors such as the stress and the conflict, and they will have the better chance of developing their full potential. It is proven that when children receive the proper and the sufficient care, nutrition, and stimulation, they will do much better in school and life. But it is not the case of the countries where being born into poverty and means never breaking out of it. So children need to face with a lot of challenges and are still at risk. So they will be more likely to be stunted physically and intellectual. So we need to take that in for a second to take action to help them, to assist them. With the massive population growth is expected, the population of the entire country will increasing more and more. So if we not pay attention or invest in education, an epic failure and a tragedy will be appeared. And they will create the intergenerational cycles of poverty and inequality. And that's the slogan as well as the speech, the sentence that I really think that this is really meaningful to me. There is the wider gap of inequality grows, the harder it becomes to reach across it. And the more numerous are the faces of those born into poverty, the more difficult to see, empathize, and to recognize with each other, with this individual. They will make us all furious, they should make us all want to take action, etc. But the causes of poverty, the inequality will have a stake in the outcome. The world is facing some serious challenges such as climate change and unemployment, other complex serious challenges, and especially with the massive population growth expected, we need to feed about 9 billion people. So there are a lot of circumstances that related to starvation, and we are facing we are on the threshold of starvation and the conflict. So the generation of kids, they need to they need a development totally in the physical and intellectual. So we should ready to do something, ready to prepare something to assist them about the financial and social sides, to ready to take on the task of eliminating malnutrition and alleviating poverty by providing food security for them to help them overcome these difficulties. And we need to come up with the solutions and innovations to deal with these complex issues such as climate change or unemployment, because it will affect to our society a lot. Furthermore, we also should manage our resources more efficiently and sustainably, such as the human resources or natural resources. Children can be the human resource in the future, so we need to invest in the human more, because children can drive tomorrow's business, can fuel economies with their future productivity, and to shape societies with their capacity and solve tomorrow's problems. So I'm convinced that there are some of the most powerful people in the world that they will be ahead of the curve of the education, and they also be tremendously influential to our society with a lot of people, with a lot of community around the world, and they can apply the brains, apply the strategies of the business and the assets like human resource and the talents of your companies to do social benefits and to solve the social problems. Mm, in this modern age, the agility and adaptability play uh, play an efficient role in our life. So we need to build a state-of-the-art school that will create the modern infrastructure and the facilities as well as the teaching program for our children. So as I mentioned above, there are some remote areas that children who have not access to the quality education. So we need to choose the most remote area where there was literally nothing. There were no paved road, there were no potable water, and there were no electricity. We need to make it accessible. Furthermore, why we need to do that? Because when we invest and assist in education, I totally agree. I totally confirm that the efficiency and the miracle of what education can do and what the investment in education can do. So we also, when we invest in education, invest in these remote areas, the malnutrition will plummet. The poverty is alleviated, and the ignorance is eliminated. So we should decide to include ECD, early childhood development, as a key component in our education. Furthermore, we also create comprehensive program and teaching training for educational system, because kids totally need access to quality ECD program to get in school and stay in school. I think that is totally a strategic investment and the smart investment. The transformation in these communities could be seen immediately from the jobs generated to the hope inspired and the improvements to the infrastructure were jaw-dropping. Okay. It is undeniable that in the third countries, children are faced with the recruiting of guerrillas and drug traffickers. This is so destroyed and well devastated for the children's life, especially for our future. So we need to push government to invest more honestly. What are the size? What are the ways that government should provide funding should prioritize expenditure on? First, government should prioritize the expenditure on campaigns for public awareness of education, about the role of education, about the benefits of education to our future. And the second is to make access to pre-K education, that is pre-kindergarten for education, for free. And the third one is to create a fund for education, such as like the same fund with the healthcare, such as AIDS. AIDS or malaria. Malaria, like the diseases that caused by the parasite that is infected by mosquitoes, and the effect of that, the effects of that is people will feel sick and will have a high fever and the shaking chills, and the tuberculosis is yes. And when we create a fund for healthcare such as AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis, It's the same with created fund for education, because education and health care should need to have their own fund, because when government provide the fund onto that, our society will develop significantly. I'm convinced. And that is maybe some vehement to drive you guys so crazy, drive you guys so nuts, drive you guys off the wall. But I agree with my insistence, but I really believe in my own eyes, because I totally agree and I totally support the idea that related to education, to make education become more better in our life. This is a smart and strategic thing to do, especially invest in humans. Yes. And I'm also passionate with this side, with this area that related to education, and there's nothing more fun and satisfying there is nothing more fun and satisfying than seeing a child who had possibilities to flourish, to thrive, and to perform well in life, and we can apply some educational methods such as university or vocational training courses, because university will provide for youngsters, a theoretical knowledge, but the vocational training courses will enable students or our children to put the knowledge gained during the study into practice. So this is all the things that I want to share with you guys that related to the topic education of the video, the power of education.